Welcome into TFW Live, the best kept secret in fantasy football, where we keep that week one feeling going all year long. This is episode 352, and we're going to be talking about all the injury news and nuggets from around the NFL heading into week 10. But first, I got to let you know that support for TFW Live is brought to you by Manscaped. And Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, and you can join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, Whisper Nation, 20% off plus free shipping. That's 20% off plus free worldwide shipping with the code TFWMAN at manscaped.com. That's TFWMAN. I am Big Travie. For those of you that don't know, I am joined here by the producer, the man, the myth, the legend, Donnie Tubbs, a.k.a. Donflict. And we are going to be talking, as we said, about all of the things that have to do with the injury reports, the designations that came out today. But if you love fantasy football, you want to enjoy a community where you know you belong, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel right now. We're trying to get just one more subscriber on this stream, just one more. Could be you. And if you're new, let us know where you're streaming from. We'll shout you out on the show. Big welcome to Whisper Nation in the chat. Albert, of course, Donnie's been in the chat there. Pizza Belly, all of our guys that are going to be pouring in here. And everybody that's going to be guys and gals that are going to be pouring in here from for right now and later. But of course, big ups to our fans on YouTube that support through the monthly subscription. Got to shout them out, of course, as we do every show. Pizza Belly, Hanimal, Gus Ramos, Don Caples, Bailey Ziegler, Nick, Brett Zabo, John Credit, Eric Lorenzen, Donnie Tubbs, and Jersey J. And if you want to join that list, you just got to click that join button right next to the video right now. Donnie.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
Friday, my dude. We are going to get into
Veterans Day.
That's right.
All veterans out there.
Thank you for your service. All those vets out there. Hopefully you're taking care of you and yours and your family and remembering the sacrifice that these people put out for us. So big ups there. Thanks, Donnie, for reminding us there to be grateful for them, but also grateful for this football. And what do you have to take away from last night? We had that kind of rainy, sloppy game last night. What's your big key fantasy football takeaway from that one?
I think the ultimate one is finally, I'm a little bit behind on everyone else. I think Pitts is droppable.
Oh,
people have been saying this. It sucks, man, because I loved him in the third round. And so I've just been trying to hang on tight. Those lows are way too low for me to. He's a possible
just streamable.
Just
that's
streamable,
it,
man. So he's definitely droppable. That's probably my biggest take from that game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think my biggest takeaway is Donta Foreman coming through here again, multiple touchdowns. Wasn't looking great for him, but this guy continues to show up and show out. And I believe now it's 3 out of the last 4 games he's rushed for over 115 yards. So, I mean, the guy is just a boss right now. And as long as he is their starter, they're going to continue to run. They're not a talented squad. They're not going to put a lot on PJ Walker's shoulders, or should it be Sam Darnold or anybody. But I really like what I saw there out of Donta Foreman last night, and he helped me in a couple leagues as well.
Nice.
Pizza Belly says, of course, the Bills game I have tickets for, Josh Allen might not play. FML. That is rough. But I will say he did get the limited practice in today, and we'll talk about him and the rest of the players here. If you've got questions for us in the chat, drop them in there. We'll answer all of them before the end of the show. But also, if you want an immediate answer, hit us with that super chat, and we'll get that going for you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my dog is acting a fool right now. I had to get him going there. All right, so we'll get through. We'll start rocking through this. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Hit us with those questions, as we said. Fill those in. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals, Donnie, a couple blurbs here. Rondale Moore, he was removed from the injury report after popping up a little bit late with a hand. And then Kyler Murray was said to be a game-time decision by his coach, Cliff Kingsbury. As Albert says here, and we're starting with the Cardinals, do you think that Kyler plays? Albert asks Donnie. What's your take on this? Do you have
I don't know. My favorite thing to come out from this week is seeing the Cardinals being on Hard Knocks. I had seen the clip and I was going to watch it right now, but then I'm like headed here with you guys, which is much better. But the clip I saw was on the sideline. Hopkins goes,
"Yeah,
what were you looking at?"
Yeah.
Come on, man. Well, he's like 4'2", man. He can't see over that offensive line.
Yeah, he's not looking at a lot there. Huh?
That being said, I don't know. I think maybe both coaches call each other and these teams like, hey, if I sit Stafford, will you sit Kyler? All right, man. I'll sit Kyler if you sit Stafford. So my guess is both starting quarterbacks sit this week.
Yeah, that's funny. They just kind of make a deal. Hey, we'll go backups against backups. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. It's not a good look. Even if he does play, I imagine it be a little bit limited here with that hamstring. He probably not as likely to run, right? Yeah. So it doesn't look like a great setup for him because if you can't run and escape Aaron Donald, you're kind of like a sitting duck right there, and that could be pretty dangerous for your fantasy prospects there.
And I mean, is their backup still Colt McCoy?
I think so.
The players love Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
Like they love playing for him. He's not the best talent in the world, but I'd be still excited to start D-Hop if Colt McCoy plays. I'd be a little iffy on Rondell.
What about Rondell Moore? Yeah, you'd be iffy on him?
I'd be a little iffy on Rondell.
I think so, too.
Yeah, D-Hop is a different beast. Yeah.
Well, as we talked about with the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen is officially questionable in Week 10. We got everything this week, too. It's serious. He's going to be out multiple weeks. He'll probably only miss 1 week. He's going to push to play. He's not day-to-day. He's hour-to-hour. We've literally gone through the entire gauntlet with Josh Allen. So I'll ask you again. I keep putting you on the spot here with these quarterbacks. Do you think Josh Allen plays Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings?
The only reason I would say yes is because they're versing the 7-1 Vikings. Like they just lost to the Jets.
Right. That was my thing. Is like, it's not. Yeah, had they beat the Jets, I think they might be more inclined to rest him here, but they lost. So does he want to go in there and play a team and try and get a big morale win for them? I just wonder because even with the possibility of Case Keenum, they are favored by 5 points. Vegas still likes them quite a bit at home. So, and the Vikings, man, they've pretty much played everybody's backup quarterback this year. So that's another interesting line here. And then you have the Case Keenum revenge game potentially. Case Keenum versus the old team he played for.
Oh yeah.
He threw the Minnesota Miracle touchdown to Stephon Diggs, and they were both on the Vikings. So kind of a situation to monitor there. I ultimately think they rest Josh Allen this one game.
I mean, they should.
I think if they're smart, they rest him a couple weeks because as much as you want top seed and all that stuff, you want your guy in the playoffs. So that's
healthy for the playoffs. So you can go to the Super Bowl and you go to the Super Bowl.
I think that's the more important thing. And I don't know that this team really. I mean, obviously, it'd be great to have that thing run through Orchard Park, run through Buffalo, all that stuff. But they are a team that is built to play anywhere. So I would hope that they rest him there. Interesting question here, and it does pertain. Albert asking here. Would you play it safe with Geno over Kyler? Because Geno plays in that Munich game against Tampa Bay. Are you going with your boy here?
I would. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I think it's going to be a good game. I think points are going to go off.
That's a good backup to have. I mean, we have Lamar, Joe Burrow out on bye. We've got Josh Allen dinged up. Aaron Rodgers pretty much not playable. We've got Tom Brady pretty much not playable in most games. So it's really thin at quarterback right now. I think if you've got Geno there, that's a good pivot to go to. Stafford definitely likely out. Kyler likely out. Just a lot of stuff going on.
So it's like the backup week. Everyone's backup's playing. Everyone's hurt. There's a bunch of buys. Yeah. That's a great backup to have.
Who should I be starting, Rondell Moore or Adam Thielen? I think with the potential of Kyler, I might go Thielen.
I think so too.
Costel 51 dynasty question and a 0.5-point PPR for tight end. Lost Waller, was offered Schultz in their second for my first. My first is a late and their second is early. Was offered Schultz and their second for my first. I mean, are you a win now? Or are you trying to?
Yeah, you said it's a late first, so he's thinking.
Yeah, he's probably I would probably do this deal. It's probably a 1-for-1 almost with the first and second there. Yeah, and then you get Schultz. So yeah, I think that's good. Healthy Daniel Jones or hurt Josh Allen if he plays? Pizza Belly's asking. So I picked up. In the one league I have Josh Allen. I picked up Daniel Jones as the backup. I'm going to play Daniel Jones.
All right.
I mean, I know Houston's supposedly this tough matchup, but I think the way Daniel Jones wins on the ground like that, I think they're coming off the bye. It's not a lot, but they're getting Galladay back, so we'll see what happens here.
I think Daniel Jones is Josh Allen injured every week.
That's true. He is like a watered down version of Josh Allen. All right. I know we've got more questions in here. Like I said, we'll get to those at the end. If you want immediate answers, hit that super chat. But otherwise, we're going to keep rocking through here, and we're going to go to the Chicago Bears. We went from anywhere to 10 snaps to 100% with Chase Claypool, and now they said the team will extend the packages for Chase Claypool. So the real question is, how big is Chase Claypool's package, Donnie?
Oh, man.
This week.
It's at least 1 to 100 inches. Right?
Yeah. I meant his play package. But yeah, of course.
Yeah. Plays. Yeah.
So we've got Chase Claypool. We got Darnell Mooney. We got Cole Kmet. We're getting excited about these weapons. Obviously, Justin Fields. Any big takeaway for Claypool? Did you see enough last week to get him in as a flex for you, or are you still kind of waiting and seeing with him?
Yeah, I mean, the only place I have Claypool is the listener league, and I need to start him. It's a quad flex, and you're hurting for starts. It's still a sit and wait for me. If you're shooting for the high upside people, he is a talent, and that offense. We've seen this offense go off recently. Mooney's looked way better, so maybe they're going to start doubling Mooney more. So maybe the Claypool with his opportunities sees better opportunities because he's going to be more open.
I could buy that. I could buy that for sure. I'm kind of in on Cole Kmet this week too. Like I think as a streaming option, he's pretty.
Are you chasing the points, or is he?
I know. I mean, I'm not taking him over guys like Dulcich and Schultz and those guys. That I think have been a little bit more consistent. But I will say that I think he's an interesting streamer. We were talking about Pitts. It's hard to say now. I would have totally started him over Pitts. Yeah. But I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. Moving on to the Cleveland Browns, and let's see if they have anything to report here. Well, they ruled out David Njoku. Surprise, surprise. At the beginning of the week, he said he might come back, but it's a high ankle, and he only missed 2 weeks.
Well, I'm glad we told the people on Thursday to start their – I mean, we got some questions, right? I mean, I think one of the options was Pitts, which was not very good for
you gotta start Pitts. Yeah, exactly. I think that is the right case to go. I'm excited for this game, Miami versus Cleveland. It's about a 50-point over-under. Both these teams have been in some shootouts. I think this could really ratchet up the points. I like my Amari Cooper. I like, Nick Chubb, especially with Miami giving up explosive runs on the regular here. You saw what Justin Fields was able to do to them. And really, I like Donovan Peoples-Jones as a sneaky flex play this week as well.
Nice.
The Dallas Cowboys side of the ball, Ezekiel Elliott is officially questionable, but your guy, Jerry Jones, said that he's going to play this week. How are you feeling about Zeke, Pollard, and the rest here with this whole breakdown, Donnie?
I don't care what the owner says, man. We all saw Pollard go off, and we've been expecting it. And I think no matter what, I think we're going to see more of Pollard. I don't think that we can't not see Pollard on the field. I think if Zeke plays, of course, it's not going to be the mass amount of packages and runs and catches he was getting. But I think he hurts Zeke more the rest of the season. I'm not excited to start Zeke at all the rest of the season.
Yeah, Zeke becomes one of the most touchdown-dependent running backs. I mean, he literally, if he gets a touchdown, he's worth it. But if not, he's not. And so, like, for me, I'm with you. I think the way they should use Pollard is more of the big play guy, the guy through the air, and the guy that they can lean on late in game. Like, maybe pound the rock with Zeke early, wear the defense down, and get Pollard in as the game goes on. We could see, and especially with them winning games and relying on the defense, Donnie, I think this could actually be something where it actually finally clicks for Dallas, where they go with that.
We'd hope so. I mean, we always think we're so smart and like the coaches and owners are dumb, but it just seems so obvious.
I am definitely not smart, but I like to pretend I am, for sure.
You're smart. I think you're smarter than Jerry Jones a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Although I don't know, I'm not a billionaire, so maybe not.
That's true.
The Denver Broncos on that side of the ball, KJ Hamler will not play in Week 10. This was a guy I thought was a sneaky flex play this week, or at least like a desperation flex play. But he tweaked his hamstring. Now I'm even more excited for guys like Greg Dulcich and Jerry Jeudy in this game. We know that the Tennessee Titans are almost impossible to run on, so teams have thrown on them with success. And so I think, I like Courtland Sutton. I like Jerry Jeudy, even though it's been hard to trust Courtland Sutton. and I'm in on Greg Dulcich. Anything else there with you're not feeling good about any of the three backs, right?
The only part of Denver's offense that I feel confident in starting right now is Dulcich, which is crazy to say because he was an injured rookie tight end for most of the season. Second was he was a third round pick, right? He was a third round.
Yeah.
He comes in and he's the most consistent part in fantasy football for the Denver Broncos. They have a horrible red zone offense. Russell Wilson, his moon ball has disappeared. We've seen Judy go off a little bit. We haven't seen, that's true. Albert with Titans have a ton of injuries on the defense, but I don't know if that will matter, man. Sutton has just been nowhere. It scares me. And for the running backs, they said that Melvin Gordon's still a starter, but now they have Chase Edmonds and they have Latavius Murray. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, man. It just all makes me ick. I'm trying to avoid as much as possible, except for Dulcich.
Yeah, I feel that. In a big way. On the Detroit Lions side of the ball, both Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift taken off the injury report. So we've got a situation there. Josh Reynolds will not play. So for me, I think if you were looking to stream guys at quarterback, Jared Goff, a little bit more interesting with both Amon-Ra St. Brown and Swift back against this bad Chicago defense. I like Jamal Williams. I like DeAndre Swift. They're both around a flex play RB2 to me.
I think so. I'm right there with you.
Anything else to really report here for the Detroit Lions, Donnie?
Much more confident in DeAndre Swift this week. I'd be rocking him no matter what.
This is the week? This is the week here because remember he came out of the bye in week 8, didn't have the injury designation, only got 10 carries or only got 10 touches, and they basically said, well, he's not right. Now we're basically saying he is right. I don't know. What do you know?
He had 40 yards receiving.
Yeah,
and
he looks good when he gets the ball.
Yeah, he didn't look limpy. He didn't look like he was avoiding tackles like Tyler Lockett. But I don't know. I think I'm definitely more confident this week.
Yeah, big time. Speaking of being removed from the injury report, shockingly, Aaron Jones removed from the injury report and will play. This is one that's I'll ask you this: DeAndre Swift or Aaron Jones? Because Aaron Jones is kind of creeping into that territory of, is he healthy? No, I don't think he is, but he's cleared to play. Who would you rather have? We've got Aaron Jones against the Cowboys, DeAndre Swift against the Bears.
I'd go matchup dependent in that aspect if I'm going both. If you have both, a lot of people that have both of these guys might need to start both of them, which is a little ick, but I think I'm going Swift just because the matchup.
Yeah, and as far as the rest of the Packers go, Romeo Doubs out, Amari Rodgers questionable. Looks like Christian Watson's going to play. He did not get concussed. He's going to be good. And then Alan Lazard was removed as well. So Lazard, Watson, I think, definitely Lazard's in your lineup. Firm wide receiver 2 with great upside. But I think that, Watson is somebody to monitor, maybe pick up as a sneaky stash and see what happens here in this game, see how his usage goes.
Deeper league, sneaky start if you really need to.
Yeah, exactly. Lincoln was here. I see your questions, brother. We're going to get to those as soon as we work through some more of the news and the notes here.
Stick around. Keep them coming.
Definitely have them going here for you. Moving on to the Houston Texans. Dameon Pierce is not on the final injury report after popping up with some limited practices with a chest and shoulder, so that's good news. We've got Nico Collins, Brandon Cooks, both questionable. Nico Collins with a groin did not play last week. Neither did Brandon Cooks, who was in timeout or basically put himself in timeout. How are you feeling about Brandon Cooks going forward? Do you think that the bridge has been repaired here and that he's good to go? Would you trust him this week against the Giants?
I'm really big on mental health, and it doesn't really seem like he's mentally there from his comments. He wants to win. He wanted to be traded. He feels underutilized. I don't know. His talent is there. We've seen him traded for high picks multiple times. We've seen him have 1,000-yard seasons consistently. It's a sit and wait for me. I don't know if I'd full on drop him, but he's a stash for me right now.
I like that. I think that's the right call here. It'd be hard to trust him because even if he does come back, it could be one of those Elijah Moore things that we saw from a couple weeks ago. Hey, you left the team. You were, bitching and moaning. You're coming back. You're going to play a couple snaps, and that's it.
17%.
I wouldn't want him to fire him up in there. For the Colts, Jonathan Taylor not listed on the injury report after practicing on a limited basis throughout the week, and I actually think he even upgraded to full. Our guy, our king, our prince that was promised, Deion Jackson, is out. He will not play.
Mighty have fallen.
I know we've had a complete flippening here between Jonathan Taylor and Deion Jackson. I dropped Deion Jackson today in a league for a defense next week because as fast as it flashed, that fire was put out. So Jonathan Taylor, I think, is a guy, I just want to speak freely, and you could jump in here, Donnie, if you disagree or agree or whatever you want to add here. But I think Taylor kind of is downgraded to a running back 2 until we see something out of this offense that really gives us excitement. Because Ellinger's not throwing to his running backs, for one, and 2, I don't even know that they would use Jonathan Taylor in the passing game that they have, and then he's got the ankle re-aggravation kind of situation too. So, how do you feel about Jonathan Taylor? Where's your confidence level in the sophomore back getting out there?
The heart says RB1, number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
The brain says, well, he hasn't fucking done that.
Yeah.
Combined. I think I'm right there with you, RB2, but this matchup is juicy. 8th most points allowed by the Raiders to running backs in fantasy football. It's if you can't do it this week, it's going to scare me even more. So I'm hopeful.
Our guy, Keg Carr, coming in here with a $1 super chat. We appreciate you, Keg. And so you know what that means. We got to hit him with a woo! Got to hit him with that whisper. Woo. Appreciate you, Keg. And he's got a question here. He says, should I trade Mahomes, ETN, Kenneth Walker for Herbert, CMC, Waddle, and Amari Cooper? I also have Saquon and Justin Jefferson on my team. So you're talking about trading Mahomes, ETN, and Kenneth Walker for Justin Herbert, CMC, Waddle, and Amari Cooper. I wouldn't do this deal.
I don't want to. I mean,
I don't.
3 of my favorite players right away.
Yeah, right in a row. Yeah.
I love ETN. I love Walker. Mahomes, like, come on, you want a quarterback, one of the 3.
Yeah, I love that you have Saquon and Justin Jefferson, and with Walker and ETN, man, you are loaded.
You are loaded. This, I mean, it's like ETN and Walker for Waddle and CMC. I mean, if you really need a wide receiver, but I don't know. I can't give up those running backs.
No, not with Saquon. Is there any way you can do, like, I would maybe get rid of, I don't even want to do this, but maybe you do ETN for a Waddle and Cooper. Like, I could do that. And then you keep Mahomes, you keep your guy Kenneth Walker, and you have Saquon. Like, that's nasty. Then you're messing with fire. But I wouldn't.
Like more, but I don't know if I'd still do it. But if you were needy, if you were like an
wide receiver needy, but I think you're kind of set here. Like, I wouldn't be getting. There is no scenario for me that Justin Herbert retains the value we thought he was going to be. Yeah. I think he could have some decent games down the stretch. But I don't think that Herbert, even if Mike Williams comes back, which is a long shot, like, if they lose a couple more divisional games, they could be out of the race. And if they're out of the race in the AFC, I don't think they're going to be rushing Keenan Allen or Mike Williams back this year.
Yeah. He says Pittman is his wide receiver 2.
Yeah, he's is hurting you for sure.
5 and 4.
Again, if you're really wanting that boost at wide receiver, try to do ETN. Or, like, if it's PPR, I think it probably is. I almost would say Kenneth Walker then maybe instead of ETN, because at least ETN is going to be used in the passing game. Although Walker's been okay. He just has
Walker did get in like the first half of that game, he got like 3 passes really quickly. So they're trying to give him the ball more.
So it's half PPR, as Keg says here. But again, I wouldn't want to be blowing up this team, even with Saquon and Justin Jefferson still on your squad. Like, you've got a stacked squad here. I don't know how much it's hurting you. You're 5 and 4. Okay. So, I mean, I think you're probably still in it. And this is a team that, like, is ready to just dong for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think
I'd be interested to know, in your 4 losses, were they before Walker and ETN emerged, you know?
Yeah.
Were they earlier on in the year when you were waiting on these guys? Because maybe you're just you're just kind of reading too much into it.
Maybe Jeff Saturday comes in for the Colts and he's like, pound the ball, play action pass.
There is a gleam of hope with Pittman if they were to move to Matt Ryan again, because Matt Ryan returned to practice this week.
Or fuck Matt Ryan, fuck Ellinger.
Go to Nick Foles.
There's our boy Nick Foles there.
Big Dick Nick. Yeah. That is definitely an option that could happen. I would I lost last week because I played against Mixon and
a lot
Devontae.
of
See,
people lost
you're not gonna face the 80-point onslaught every
Yeah.
single week. This team right here that you
we
have,
love your, especially for half point PPR.
yeah.
Your team is amazing.
I think that's just as like Lincoln says, that's a tough one. So yeah. Well, we appreciate it, Keg. Thanks for we would hold pat on that one. Thanks for the super chat again. Anybody who drops that super chat, you're not only going to get that immediate answer, you get that whisper woo, and we will get to all the rest of the questions as we continue to roll through this. So appreciate you guys in here, and sub the channel if you're new, of course. On the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Twitter and Discord as well. I was going to say, like, if you're new here, not only subscribe, like, we have a Discord where we all chat, and a Twitter as well with a lot of information.
And on the Jacksonville Jaguars side of the ball, Evan Ingram removed from the Week 10 injury report. He's going to play against the Chiefs, of course, and he'll probably go off because I dropped him after he gave me almost a 0.
But he's so consistent before that. You're just so mad at him for 1 week?
Well, Dulcich was there.
Oh,
and
that's okay then.
Yeah, I figured that was a decent play, and I thought Ingram, because he left the game, so I thought he maybe would have had a lingering issue, but it sounds like it wasn't. It was his back-gina, his back pussy. Excuse me, I'm only kidding. I couldn't play football, so I really should shut up. But Jerick McKinnon was questionable. Downgraded to a limited practice on Friday, which is somewhat ominous, as NBC Sports Edge says. Mecole Hardman is going to be out for the Chiefs. Does this upgrade your Isaiah Pacheco situation? Does this upgrade your Kadarius Toney situation, or are you just firing up the guys we know? Juju, Mahomes, and Kelsey.
I think it upgrades. I mean, it's ominous right here. It says shoulder/knee/hamstring.
Yeah, dude, like what?
Spine.
It's because I got all excited, to pick him up, and I told you yesterday, I'm like, I think he's a sneaky pickup. The next day, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. What is going on, dude?
I think this would upgrade CEH for me personally. I don't think I'm happy with Pacheco, and this would. I think I saw this earlier, and I put Toney into my flex.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm like,
is it time?
Maybe. It's exciting, you know. Maybe he goes off for that Hardman there.
So what about Juju? What about Kelsey? You're a big fan?
Same. I mean, you're probably starting those guys every week, right?
Yeah, definitely starting them any week. But what do you think? Let's talk Juju for a second, because I think Juju's been the one that we've been kind of like afraid to crown. Like at the beginning of the year, some of us were like, "Oh yeah, this is good." He's pretty good here, but I don't know. What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm pulling up his stats right now. From what I remember, he's looked great the last few weeks, right? I mean, yeah. So wide receiver 7, wide receiver 4, bye week, wide receiver 8 in full point PPR. That's fantastic. And they have some hard matchups coming up. This is an easy one against the Jaguars, so I'm definitely putting him in there at the wide receiver 1 slot. He's probably going to be a top 12 wide receiver again. But the playoffs is tough, man. He long term, his last 3 weeks, the playoffs for fantasy football. Red Houston, red Seahawks, red Denver.
Yeah.
So maybe seeing those maybe sell high, but I kind of still like him. Mahomes is still good. Mahomes is still going to get the ball.
Matters. Yeah. Juju's been fantastic for sure. All right, so we're moving on here, rocking and rolling to the Las Vegas Raiders, who I believe put a couple guys on IR this week. Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. How do you feel about Foster Moreau, Mac Hollins? I mean,
awesome
is this
guy?
Are you excited to get
about him?
Any of these guys as stashes?
I mean, I think any of those guys with Derek Carr can go off at any week, and any of them can give 0 points. It's so tough. I mean, what are they now? Are they 2 wins this season?
Yeah, they got 2 wins.
That's tough, man. We thought this AFC West is just going to ball out, and it's not looking very good at any of those teams except for the Chiefs, honestly. I don't know. What I take from this is when I dropped Hunter Renfrow last week, I'm like, I saw it coming, I guess.
Yeah.
Foster Monroe becomes a streamable tight end every week. Okay. I mean, I'm probably picking him up, dropping Pitts, honestly, this week. I can't right now because Pitts played, but
would you drop Waller in the 4-week IR situation for Foster Moreau?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Yeah, I think just with the way tight end is.
yeah,
And he's over 30 with the hamstring. Like, we're just not a good look.
yeah. And for Hollins, sneaky starts for flex if you need it. He can go off. He's very athletic, and he can do. He's not the best at catching the ball, which you need to do as a wide receiver, but when he catches it, he gets a lot of yards.
Spoken like a true philosopher right there, Don.
Thanks, man.
The Los Angeles Chargers, shocker, it's your weekly update that Keenan Allen will not play this week with a hamstring. Speaking of a hamstring situation. And Mike Williams will not play as well. He's got the high ankle. Staley told reporters there's a good chance Williams could practice in week 11. Week 12 would make it 5 weeks since he suffered the high ankle sprain. Who plays first, Donnie? Keenan Allen or Mike Williams?
Dude, I was so high on Keenan Allen. I have him in a couple spots just riding my bench all season long. I think Williams plays first. I think Allen's the next Michael Thomas. I think he's
he could be done, huh? Well, the thing is he said that he had some scar tissue on it, and he's older, and he's had all these injuries. I could see a situation where they try this a couple more weeks and they shut him down.
Yeah, and
that would be absolutely heartbreaking to those of you that held on to him. I went and picked him up. He got dropped, and I thought I was the king of the world for picking him up a couple weeks ago, and I'm about ready to drop him too.
Yeah.
So, it's tough.
I'm more excited for Mike Williams for sure.
I am too.
I had a high ankle sprain once. I didn't hurt it because I was being awesome playing football. I was delivering pizza, and
my god, dude!
And I stepped in a ditch in the gravel in the street, and my ankle hurt for 3 months.
My ankle still hurts.
Honestly, like when it rains, it still hurts. High ankle sprains are no joke. They're tough, man. Sometimes they take longer to heal than breaks. Sometimes, I mean, who knows? I mean, you can play through it sometimes. I'm excited that they said that he's probably going to practice next week.
Yeah, I didn't see that till just now when I read it to you, Whisper Nation, and to Donnie. So I'm with that too. I'm excited because he was part of a trade where I got Kenneth Walker and I got Alvin Kamara. I also got Mike Williams. Mike Williams was a throw-in. So I'm excited to be able to, gear him up. All right, the Los Angeles Rams. Well, this clown show continues to get more clowny as the days go on. Kyron Williams is expected to be activated from injured reserve. Let's start there because they have had Malcolm Brown's not going to play with a hamstring. Not that anybody cared. Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Ronnie Rivers, Malcolm Brown, and now Kyron Williams. Anybody in this backfield? Darrell Henderson getting you excited this week against the Cardinals?
No.
Okay. So I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if Kyron Williams is activated. And then the other news, obviously, is Matt Stafford could take it all the way up to 90 minutes before kickoff, is what McVay said, because he is making progress, but is still in the concussion protocol. It really always, like these high profile guys like Matt Stafford, how come he's got a shot to play? These concussion things, man. Sometimes I'm just like, we got other guys ruled out on Friday when they've got a concussion. He was added on Wednesday, and like, oh well, he's making good progress. He might have a
starting quarterback
shot to play. You're not starting Stafford here against the Cardinals, even in a pinch, right?
No. I mean, there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah. All right. To our Miami Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins. Basically, no injuries here for them to report, but we do have the situation of obviously Jeff Wilson playing more snaps than Raheem Mostert, gaining more than Raheem Mostert, getting more involved in the passing game than Raheem Mostert. Is Jeff Wilson the new one, or is he more the 1A, or is it just going to be a 50-50 every single week?
I think it's going to be 50-50 again, and maybe in a couple weeks, it's going to be 1A, 1B. I think Mostert will be the specialist. He's old, man. He's old, and he had injuries most of his career.
4 years older.
Yeah. So they love him. They love his speed. They love his talent, but they don't want him to be the every down back. So I think that's what Jeff Wilson will be, the 1A and 1B eventually in a couple weeks.
Everybody in here, love to see all these people in the chat. Bronson, Ohio, Val's the GOAT, our guy, Killjoy. STF fans, Mr. Discount. Appreciate all of you guys. We're going to get to all these questions. Keep them coming in here. We're just rocking through the news and notes right now, so we appreciate the patience on that one. We're moving to the Minnesota Vikings. See if there's anything to report here. Adam Thielen off the injury report. He's been kind of dealing with an ankle, excuse me, and a knee. But it looks like he's going to be good to go. This is your friendly weekly reminder via Ian Hartitz that Adam Thielen has never gone 3 straight non-injury related games without a touchdown. And so he hasn't scored in a couple weeks. It's time for Adam Thielen to get.
It's going to happen, man. Just put him up there. Put him in your lineups.
Oh, man.
You all right?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. I had to get my phone out. I was scared for a minute.
Adam Thielen, hold on. Give me just a second
You're
here.
good. You're good, man. Yeah, Adam Thielen is going to get a touchdown this week, Whisper Nation. So put him in your lineups for sure. Travi got way too excited talking about it. I'm going to pull.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Is like the magic, the juju in the air was kind of like going from my throat when I was giving away that secret there. But I think Adam Thielen's fine enough to play this week against Buffalo, although it is a tough matchup.
When you were choking, I was looking up his stats. He hasn't had less than 7.
I was coughing. I don't really appreciate you calling it choking, do you? So I'm not the Packers against the 49ers in the playoffs, right?
He hasn't had less than 7 targets since week 1. He's getting a share. The touchdown's going to come for sure. I feel it.
Yeah. This would be a game that they would need it too, probably against Buffalo.
Yeah, and this season alone, it's 0-0-1. 0-0-1. 0-0.
There we go.
Gonna happen, baby.
Yeah, it's time. Let's see. Nothing to report for the New England Patriots. They're on a bye. The New Orleans Saints, I think, are going to get Jarvis Landry back this week. Mark Ingram not going to play. Jarvis Landry removed from the injury report. How are we feeling about Jarvis Landry? I know I'm streaming Andy Dalton in the Listener League. It's a 16-team league. It's hard to get a quarterback there. I got Lamar Jackson on bye. Landry should upgrade the offense a little bit, but are you stashing Jarvis Landry? We saw it last week, right? Like a lot of people kind of picking him up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you think?
I thought that was really weird. Thinking about it now, I mean, they're 3-6. They think they're still in it, right? I mean,
yeah.
Maybe they
are they? Probably not.
In that division.
Yeah,
in that division, maybe. I mean, Andy Dalton has in the past liked to throw to his slot receivers a lot, so it could be. I don't really want to start him this week, but I'm okay stashing him.
Sounds good. New York Giants. Believe they're going to get Kenny Golladay back. For those that care, Richie James is not going to play. For those that care, it's really Saquon and maybe Daniel Jones. What do we think about Wan'Dale Robinson? I mean, the big question for me is he's been good, especially in PPR, because he can soak up some volume. His ADOT has not been good, Donnie. He is a pure slot underneath kind of guy. But could he be like a Rondale Moore type and just soak up a bunch of looks? I think that could be.
I think so. And I think that's what Daniel Jones needs. I think that's what this offense needs. And the version of the Texans, who are a bad team, they're good at fantasy football for some reason, and it hurts the quarterback. But I still think he's going to get a plethora of targets, and I think he'll do good this week. And I'm excited.
More than likely, this game is going to be the Dameon Pierce versus Saquon Barkley show, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and talk about Richie James real fast. Did you hear about? He had 2 fumbles in the Seahawks game. He blamed it on wearing sleeves. He's like,
that's why I don't wear sleeves either, so I don't fumble the bag.
Fumble the ball. Yeah.
Let's see. Nothing to report for the Eagles. They seem very much healthy and ready to rock against the Washington Commanders as 11-point favorites.
Undefeated and healthy. That's scary.
Scary stuff. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. The big report here, because they're mostly healthy coming out of the bye, is that they believe this flippening is happening. The takeover could be upon us between Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris. One, do you think that that's likely to happen? Remember, Najee was a first-round pick just last year. Do you think it's likely that it'll happen? And 2, do we care? Because this offense has been so bad. The line's been so bad. Najee's been so bad. Do we care if he takes over?
I think everyone that took Najee into the first round cares.
Yeah, right.
That wasn't me once at all anywhere, which I'm okay with.
So glad I avoided him like the plague.
You know, it's weird. Eyeball test, that whole offense looks rough, right? Jaylen Warren doesn't look that good, but looking at his numbers, he does a lot better than Najee. I don't see him overtaking the total amount of snaps over Najee or more carries or anything like that, but I definitely see him being more of a running back to like a 1-2 punch like teams like a utilize sometimes. I don't think Najee will be the one and only like he has been in the past.
I can feel that. George Pickens is a guy I'm looking at in this offense going forward, especially with Claypool out of the picture. I think this is a guy that could just really soak up targets. And then my guy, or actually Donnie's guy, Pat Freiermuth, who's been super consistent down the stretch, is a guy that I think
that's the one I like in this offense. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, I think
pretty
that's
consistent.
Good. Probably should stay that way, I would imagine. The San Francisco 49ers are the next team we're talking about. Looks like Elijah Mitchell is going to be coming off the injury reserve, so look for that. Debo hamstring Samuel removed from the injury report here, so that's good news.
That's good. That's good.
I want to talk really, though, about this offense because Debo and CMC are not only both going to be do we think that Debo can solidify himself as the alpha in this offense, or do we think it's really going to be like is CMC cannibalizing kind of what we get out of Debo? Those short intermediate routes with Yak. I mean, that's some of the stuff that CMC is so great at.
I think so, but I still think I think Debo is still their guy. I think they're going to try to run it through Debo and then scare everyone with McCaffrey. I think Debo will get more than McCaffrey. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Offense.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out now that they're all healthy. Because not only just Debo and CMC, but then you've got the Ayuk kind of has been coming on. Kittle's been coming on.
Juwan Jennings is healthy now, and they've used him in the past as a deep guy.
How many of these guys? Like, I think we could get a situation other than CMC where these guys, like the receiving options, frustrate us a little bit because they're just not going to have those big games as much. Now, they might have nice floors, but no big, huge ceilings that we're used to with some of these guys when the other ones are injured.
Definitely.
With the Seattle Seahawks, Marquise Goodwin is questionable, but he got a full practice in today, Friday, before the Munich game on Sunday. We weren't really starting Marquise, though, without DK or Lockett playing, and with one of them missing, and neither of them are going to. So we're kind of wheels up for the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to take care of business. Vegas still giving the benefit of the doubt to Tampa Bay. They're favored by 2.5 in this one.
It's a mistake by Vegas, man.
Yeah. The official 12th man is on here with us. So, boom. Love it. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Julio Jones is not on the final injury report. Mike Evans, practice in full, not on the injury report. Cameron Brate, questionable, which could be a downgrade to Cade Otton if he was to go, because you'd think that maybe he'd run less routes there. And then the other report was out of Chris Godwin. This one was kind of weird. Chris Godwin said he's taking steps in his ongoing recovery from the ACL injury. Well, I hope you're taking some steps. I mean, you're out there running routes. It looks like you're needing to take some steps because he has not played well, but his usage has been all over the map. Where are you at with these pass catching options for Tampa Bay? Can we trust any of them outside of Mike Evans?
Oh, man, I'm excited for the matchup of Mike Evans versus Tariq Woolen. It's going to be exciting. Those are two athletic freaks. Tariq did pretty good against DeAndre, and it was the slot receiver, the faster receiver that does well against our defense mostly. So if Godwin is taking the steps and he's healthy, I like Godwin more in this game. I like a tight end, but who knows which tight end it's going to be. And I like receiving
tight end.
And then I like a receiving back. So maybe this is a game where they give Leonard Fournette his 10 targets in the passing game like he's had in the past. Maybe that, or maybe they say, fuck you, step aside, you suck lately. Let's throw it to Rachaad White.
It's going to be interesting because we had the first rumblings of Fournette getting pissed about Rachaad White coming in. You know, like that made national news this week, as along with beat writers talking about Rachaad White potentially the takeover is imminent, which I don't think that's true. And again, it's similar to the Pittsburgh situation. If he were to take over and be the 1A to the 1B, do we really give a shit? This team is near bottom of the league in rushing efficiency right now. Their offensive line is absolute garbage. So I love Rachaad White. I rostered him everywhere. I did a couple moves this week to pawn him off after that blurb, basically to kind of capitalize on the hype this week of that blurb. And we'll just see how it goes, though. Got their bye next week, so if they wanted to change anything, they could. A couple more teams here before we jump into your questions, so stay with us, Whisper Nation. We'll be rocking and rolling through those. Dontrell Hilliard removed from the injury report for the Titans. Henry removed from the injury report for the Titans. Ryan Tannehill officially questionable after practicing full on Thursday and Friday. Actually, he got a full practice Thursday, limited Wednesday and Friday. So that's kind of weird. Maybe they're ramping him down to ramp him up. I don't know. I wouldn't be starting Tannehill in any spot, but the Titans might be getting Treylon Burks back, something to monitor there with Tannehill coming back. And then obviously I think it's Derrick Henry and nobody else here.
Yeah, I think I'm in my brain, I'm shocked that the Titans are 5-3. And I think it's all because of Derrick Henry.
And that defense, man, they stopped the run. Yeah.
Yeah. But Derrick Henry is a game changer, man. He's tough. As long as he's healthy, they're going to win games.
I agree with that. Washington Commanders is our last team because W is the last letter in the alphabet for teams in the NFL. So Washington,
you heard it here first.
Yeah. J.D. McKissick, the Commanders will be without J.D. McKissick, but they will likely be getting back maybe Jahan Dotson, who is practicing full. So are you starting Dotson if he's back? I mean, you won't know till Monday. How do you feel about this passing attack against a very tough Philadelphia secondary?
Scary. I mean, I would want to maybe only reason to put him in there is hoping for a touchdown, hoping you think the Commanders will need to score points against these to stay with them. I would want to bench him. I'm trying to think in my mind, would I start Tony or Jahan Dotson? And I think I would start Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so as well. We haven't seen Dotson kind of in this lineup with Heineke, so that's what scares me. Now, you have equal scare because what did we get, like 19% of the snaps last week for Tony? So there's a scare there, but I think Tony's upside is a little bit higher, obviously, against this matchup against the Jaguars. So that's and with B. Cole out, so I think that's why I'd go that way. Well, that wraps up all the news and nuggets for us. We're going to rock through your questions here as we said we would. And let's see. Cake Carr got his questions here. We'll start here. Lincoln was here. I flipped Kmet for Bateman. Then I flipped Bateman in my late 23 first for Justin Fields in my Dynasty Superflex lead. I needed a QB really bad because my other QBs were Tom, Carr, and Ryan. I also flipped B-Rob for Adam Thielen and Waller, and flipped Waller for Joe Mixon and Samaje in the same Dynasty League. Players are older, but my team is going to win now. I like these moves. I think you've done well for yourself. Everything's kind of worked out, so I don't mind this at all.
That's great. You got Mixon right before that huge game because that trade would not have happened, and then Waller goes on IR. Yeah, that's crazy. Great trade.
Are we starting Jeff Wilson or Mostert this week? I'm starting Jeff Wilson in the league, in my league of record, as my RB2. And I think I would go Jeff Wilson right now. And you'll see the consensus say, I think Fantasy Pros has Mostert 8 spots ahead of Jeff Wilson right now because people are kind of buying in on what they saw before. But I saw enough 3 days into the building, and he got more snaps than Mostert. I think that tells you all you really need to know from me. And I'll ride that hot hand.
Ride it.
Jacob Ander says, not great wide receiver options, but I need 2 in PPR, Sutton, D. Johnson, and Mooney. I'll go Sutton and Mooney. I know it's tough to trust Sutton, but I'm going to go Sutton one more week. Against Tennessee, they've been so bad against wide receivers. And I like Darnell Mooney in this matchup against Detroit too.
Man, I think I'm off of Sutton so much. It's definitely Mooney for me because of against Detroit. I think I'm riding Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, really?
I think so, man. I'm just so off.
He's been just as bad as Sutton, though.
I'm just so over Sutton, though.
Fair enough. He's burned us.
Yeah.
Lincoln was here adding in that the guy trading away Bateman for Cole Kmet in week 4 might sound dumb, but each tight end gets 2.5 points, so it's a tight end premium. I didn't need Kmet because I have Kelsey, Ertz, Dulcich, and Bellinger. You have some good tight ends there in a premium league. Oh. Calvin Brown, non-PPR, Swift or Gibson? Ooh, I'd go Swift.
Yeah, I'm going to go
The Swift. Upside is Swift is better. I mean, Philly's a tough matchup. They're 11-point dogs. Now, you could say in a PPR league, maybe you get a little bit more boost for Gibson because he could be used, but that's how Swift's going to be used too as a pass catcher. So, and it's not PPR. So,
yeah.
Keg, this was your question. We answered that one there. Glad we talked you off the ledge with that one. Lucas Blakemore says 10-man full point PPR. Trade Jacobs, Chase, and Olave for Mike Evans, T. Higgins, and ETN? Yes or no? I'm getting scared of the injury with Chase. So you would trade away Jacobs, Chase, and Olave. You'd get Mike Evans, T. Higgins, and ETN. Yes or no? I think I'm staying where you're at. We've got Cincinnati's bye this week, right? Then they could come back, and he could be back in 1 to 2 weeks after that, potentially. I know you're getting scared, but it's probably just because you've been sitting there with him on your roster, not getting anything for him. But, I mean, I love ETN, but Jacobs is getting the volume, and Olave is looking like a stud. So I do think it is close, but
I think I'm right there with you. I think
too, like
if you need wins, do the trade.
Maybe
I like that. But if you're 5-6 wins, I'm sticking where you are. I think Jacobs gets those carries over there in Las Vegas. They're not getting wins, but Jacobs is doing well. Chase is a beast, top 5 wide receiver. I mean, T. Higgins second fiddle to him in his own offense. And Olave isn't that far behind Mike Evans, honestly. So I think I would stay put.
Agreed. Bronzon's Hio says trade Kamara for Ramondre Stevenson and D-Hop.
I think we answered
this last night, but we definitely like this deal for you.
I would choose personally D-Hop.
Yeah.
But I would take either one.
Last week I traded Lazard and Sutton for Debo. Is that a good trade? Yeah, I think the upside of Debo is nice there. I would have liked to keep Lazard. I think he's going to be pretty good going forward. But Val's the Goat says I'm 4-5. Gino, Najee, Saquon, Sutton, Gabe, Higbee, Hurst, Otten. Which one should I start out of Hurst and Otten? I might go Otten.
Who are the Bengals playing?
Well, Hayden Hurst, they're on bye, so
okay.
Definitely go with.
I'm starting Otten over Higbee for sure. So
yeah, Herbert, Terrace Marshall, Rashad, MVS. What should I do with this team? Oh man, pray. Najee Harris and Sutton are really killing you.
Try to trade Najee and Sutton for something.
Yeah, hopefully gets. I mean, would you trade Najee and Sutton? Oh, this is going to sound gross. Would you trade Najee and Sutton for Donta Foreman?
God, that does sound gross. But probably.
But I think it's probably a good deal, right? Yeah. Like rest of the season, we've seen enough out of Foreman to think that.
What about for Swift? He's been injured. Maybe they're willing to trade him for those two guys.
That's a decent one. Try and get that done on Saturday before we get a pop game out of Swift. I think that's decent. Yeah, I would be looking to kind of trade some of those guys out of there.
Keep Saquon. He's great. Gino's been serviceable.
I mean, some of these guys you can drop. Like, I think you could drop him, Higbee, and MVS.
Yeah.
Like you could, if you can package these for anything, go and try and do it. But you're probably clogging your roster a bit here, too. Bronson Hio says pick 2 to start. Zeke, Thielen, Pickens, A.J. Dillon, DPJ.
I'll let you go first. One of those guys you've been talking about a lot this week.
I guess DPJ is going to get in there. Aaron Jones cleared, so I'd be kind of trusting A.J. Dillon less, plus he's looked bad. Oh, man.
You want me to answer first?
No, I think I'm going to go Pickens and DPJ. As gross, I want to get Thielen in there, but I like DPJ's matchup. I like the shootout potential, and Pickens has just been solid. I think Pickens is going to be one of those guys that has like a really, really great second half. Things are lining up. He's put some stuff on film. He's got more time with his quarterback. At least Pickett gives him an opportunity on the boundary. No Claypool. It should be the Pickens show over there.
Yeah, I'm going Pickens, and I'm going to chase that touchdown that we're talking about with Thielen.
All right, I like that.
Happen, baby. I feel it.
Good evening, Dulcich or Foster Moreau. I'm going Greg Dulcich here.
Dulcich. His floor this season has been 11 points, right? We haven't seen him do less, so I like it.
Rick Doping says, I traded Herbert, Kirk, and JT, and I got Chubb, Dak, and Olave in return. I traded away Herbert, Kirk, and JT. Khalil Herbert, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Justin, because you got Dak.
Oh, okay. So Justin Herbert, Christian Kirk, and JT. I got Chubb, Dak, and Olave. I love this deal.
That's a great trade. I mean, you stole it.
Yeah, and as Lucas saying, 100% with the possibility of Winston coming back, you won that. Even without it, I mean, I think
Chubb upgrade over JT. Dak, honestly, probably upgrade over Herbert. He's not very good, and Olave and Kirk very similar.
Are IDP questions legal here? Carlton Davis, the DB.
Lock him up. They're illegal.
Seattle, or Jeff Okudah versus Chicago. What do you think, Donnie? You got a little bit more of the knowledge on.
I mean, IDP, I would usually go for a sack specialist. I don't know what your league settings are. I usually go for a defensive end or a pass rushing linebacker.
But these are both DBs here. So which one do you think is probably going to make more tackles?
If you had to go DBs, more tackles, a possible pick, forced fumble, I'm going to go Jeff Okudah. I think Chicago's been so chaotic on offense, so I think something could happen over there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Be more willing.
Yeah, because I think Seattle's whoever Carlton Davis gets, it's not going to be that great of a matchup. I mean, he's great. He's fine. Like, I'm not saying Davis isn't good, but those wide receivers in Seattle are really good. So Rick asks, Mostert or Rachaad White? Normally I'd say Mostert, but the Miami running back situation has me nervous, and now I'm overthinking this. I don't know if you are. I kind of like Rachaad White as a sneaky play this week, given the receiving work that's given up to Seattle's defense. They're kind of stout on the ground as far as like pure rushing running backs, but they do give up a lot of receiving work to those backs. And I think White could get involved here, with the struggles of Godwin, with the struggles of this offense and that line. He could just get a ton of dump off. So I think if it's full point PPR, I'd probably roll Rachaad White. And, and granted, I am a little biased. I think Jeff Wilson is kind of the better back than Mostert, so I'm leaning more Jeff Wilson. But I don't know. What do you think, Donnie? You got anything to add there?
I agree with everything you said, but it still scares me because we've seen Fournette get the receptions a ton.
And I guess you'd say, like, I might trust Miami's offense a whole lot more, than Tampa Bay's right now. And like you could just get bailed out with a touchdown. That's why if it's PPR, I think I'd lean White. If it's standard, I'd go the other way with Mostert because he could get a touchdown.
I think for me personally, this week I'm still rolling in Mostert, but you're holding on to White and hoping he's going to go off soon.
Yeah. Luke Mastronardi says, team Mahomes, Kamara, Patterson, D-Hop, Lamb, Higbee, Flex, DJ Moore, Foreman, Josh Palmer, Zeke. Trade away Patterson and DJ Moore for Metcalf. Start Foreman after. Is that what it says? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I would trade Patterson.
Yeah, I like that.
Metcalf for sure.
Yep, I'm with that as well. Pick 3, Olave, Pittman, Amon-Ra, DPJ, Mike Evans. Thanks for answering, guys. Y'all earned a new sub. Appreciate you, Rick. Thanks for being here. So pick 3, Olave, Pittman, Amon-Ra, DPJ, Mike Evans. Well, Amon-Ra has to be started here.
That's number 1 for sure.
And I think that Mike Evans has to be started here too, even in a tougher matchup. So, and then I think it's Olave. Like, Olave's earned the spot in your lineup. He's been getting a lot of look. Pittsburgh, terrible.
Horrible. Second most points to wide receivers.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. I think Rick. Those are great. I'd be trying to get out of Pittman if you can. What you need is a blow-up game and then try and sell them off. But I don't know if many of those are coming for the Colts. Biggest regret of my life, dropping Kenneth Walker after week 2. Ooh. Yeah, I dropped Kenneth Walker in a PPR league, and I've been kicking myself for it too. I had Penny, but I just didn't have the bench spots, and then I dropped Kenneth Walker the week Penny got hurt. So
you should have known, man. You should have known.
Olave is a dog. He's got that dog in him, no doubt. So glad I drafted him in Dynasty this year. Really stoked about that. Donnie, any final words for Whisper Nation as we roll into the weekend here?
No. I mean, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy football. If you're a college football fan, tons of games going on.
What game are you looking out for the most in college tomorrow?
Man, I don't know. I just watch football all day long because of work. So I whatever the PFF schedules.
I just like it to football.
Yeah. I just stare at a screen for 15 hours on Saturdays. So yeah, I just have a good weekend. Set your lineups. Look out for. This is a news show, but more news can happen, and especially Sunday morning. So just keep an eye out for that. And I wish everyone a good luck. Except if you're versing me, I wish you bad luck. And yeah, that's my final thought.
Absolutely. Well, Whisper Nation, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. If you want more advice, remember, we will be back Sunday morning an hour and a half before the morning games kick off. So during the end of that Munich game with Seattle and Tampa Bay, don't forget about that game. Set your alarm if you're not going to wake up to watch it, to at least get your lineup set and make sure guys are in the right spot for that. For Donnie Tubbs, I'm Big Travie. We're the Fantasy Whisperers, and we're out of here. Peace.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check